We are live. Losing sucks on a Tuesday, September 20th. This time last year, Aaron Rodgers was dropping dimes to Devontae Adams. It is unfortunate that is no longer, but we are back. We are still here. Dustin, how are we doing on this Tuesday? I am playing host tonight. You are being the co-host tonight. We're going to give this a shot. See if I don't get fired. How are you after week 2? How did the weekend go for you? Are you licking wounds or are you celebrating anything so far?
Not great, Bob. Not great. I was doing really well until about, I don't know, like a quarter of the way into the fourth quarter of that Miami game. And then, like, I had you beat. I had another guy that I was really close to beating. And for whatever reason, like, that matchup went absolutely nuclear. And I am sad. I'm very sad.
Did the Ravens just stop playing? That game was over.
I don't know. Like, watching the game, it was just more of a wow. That was a crazy pass. The coverage fell apart. No way that'll happen again. And then it just kept happening. And then there's like, oh well, no way Tua can hit Mike Gesicki in the back of the end zone where he throws it 9 feet in the air. There's no way he can catch that. And then it's just like the day just kept getting better and better and better, and I was just more sad. So we're here. It's Tuesday. Yeah, football. Just keep talking, Travis.
This is a dejected Dustin Blanton right now.
I just want to win. I just want to win.
Losing sucks. And
losing
Dustin
sucks. Don't do it.
He's unfortunately 0-2 in the home league.
Doing so much losing.
I've been incredibly lucky to play low scores and win by single digits back to back. I should be 0-2 myself.
But
however, this is where we are. We still have a fun show planned for tonight. We had a lot of action in the NFL. We're going to cover as much of it as we can in about 45 minutes or so. And we're going to have some fun with it. So I promised a few people that I would start this show off by apologizing to Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Alabama, as I have previously called him. I have said he cannot throw. I have said he sucks. And while I cannot say that I stand by those feelings right now, I have to apologize and say Tua had an amazing day. He looked like a professional quarterback, and he was out there breaking some records, tying records, and winning fantasy games by himself. A 50-piece in a lot of scoring formats. I apologize to Tua, and specifically K-Mad, Patrick Pucci, and others. And that's just going to be part of it. When you get takes wrong, you kind of have to own up to it. I've got a pre-recorded apology from earlier in the day that I'd like to play for you guys real quick.
I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean that. I think they're excellent finger paintings. Please don't go.
That's for me.
That's heartfelt.
That is for me to Tua and the Tua supporters.
You bring up his artwork even.
My eyes, those are great finger paintings, Tua. My eyes are still rolled so far in the back of my head every time he threw that ball up for grabs, and it's Tyreek running for 60 yards. So,
yeah,
potentially a humbling experience coming for Tua against Buffalo Week 3. We shall see.
Yeah, for sure. Or
where did you stand, Dustin, on the Tua hype train or hatred all off season? Where did you honestly feel he would be?
I look to acquire him because typically when you've got a quarterback like, you look at like Jimmy G. Jimmy G is a middle of the pack kind of guy. Tua was thought to be kind of average or below average, but you give him weapons. Give him an offense that wants to run the ball. What kind of offense did Tua play in? He played in an offense with Jalen Waddle, but guys that were very fast, faster than the competition. Yeah. Give him an offense that wants to run the ball, play action, deep plays. That's exactly what Tua is. He's an accurate deep ball passer. And no, you don't have to throw it a mile to be great. But I thought Tua was going to be fine. I didn't think he was going to be like light the world on fire, like throw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. But you know what? Everybody has a Nick Foles, Matt Flynn game. So here we are. We're living in this universe, and that's just where week 1 kind of landed here.
This is true. Tua did better than my big pick of the week as we get into the big pick recap. Derek Carr hits his projected 19 points, but a big pick is 5 or more over the projection. Derek Carr is a no-go. However, I did get 2 of the next 3 correct. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 34.5 in half PPR, wide receiver 3 on the week. He is a monster.
Yeah, he's looking very, very nice.
Aaron Jones, RB2 overall in the week at 30.5. Those are some big wins. Aaron Jones kind of was an easy pick, but saying that he would be an absolute smash play was the goal, and it worked. Dalton Schultz got injured, but not till really the last drive, so I'm going to count that as a red L as well. Dustin, how did you do?
Bad. This is going to be a theme for today. I did bad. Okay, my quarterback big pick of the week was Trey Lance. If you don't know what happened to Trey Lance, you live under a rock. Okay, I don't count that one against me. It's just really unfortunate. Like, I don't have a backup. Julio also didn't play, so that was also not great.
You're limiting your chances here.
Right. Josh Jacobs, 8.6 points. This one, I mean, it is what it is. Look, it was a back and forth game, a lot of drama. You know, the Cardinals come away with it, but Josh Jacobs didn't have the big game that I thought he would. So here we are, and then Robert Tonyan, for whatever reason, wasn't a favorite target. Honestly, the Packers, when you're able to run the ball down someone's throat, you don't really need to pass it. I was hoping the Bears would put up a little bit more of a fight, but that was not the case. So Robert Tonyan, 2 points, not going to get it done this week. So 0-4 for me. Sad face.
I have a feeling between the 4 that you picked, those 4 will not make an appearance back in this segment the rest of the season. Is that a correct judgment?
Well, Trey Lance for sure. I could see Julio getting there. I mean,
it would have to be this week.
It would have to be this week.
And it could be because
it could be.
Mike Evans loves shoving Saints cornerbacks. I don't know what
the
addiction
he doesn't,
is.
Not cornerbacks. Cornerback.
Yeah,
there's one cornerback he likes to just brutalize.
There's something
Cortland
in his
Finnegan
blood.
to Andre Johnson.
Yes, there is something in Mike Evans' blood that when he plays New Orleans, particularly in New Orleans, it's going to happen. He's going to fight, and a suspension now follows. Get Mike Evans out of your lineups. We'll revisit this on Thursday to remind you, but Mike Evans takes a seat. James Conner, right. I believe, will miss 1 week. It's not confirmed yet. He didn't take off his uniform and cleats, but he did not come back into the game in the 4th. Dalton Schultz hurt his knee on the last drive. He should be out 1 week from what I saw today. And, of course, Trey Lance, the big one, going to cost some people some valuable points there, especially in Superflex leagues that were banking on Trey Lance having a great year.
Yeah. You know, there's one goodbye that we didn't really get to because it's been coming for a long time, but Kenny G is done.
What happened? What do you, not like in a satirical, sarcastic way, what do you really think happened to Kenny G?
Honestly, like, if you just, I mean, I think he was paid to be something he's not. You know, he could never stay healthy. And then looking at him, he just didn't have it. He went through a coaching staff that didn't know what they were doing. And then the current coaching staff did not want him or his contract. So you could tell that he just was not involved. I think he'll still catch on somewhere. You know, be remember when Devin Funchess was still hopping around different places? I think Kenny G will still have a place on someone's roster as like a back end wide receiver 4 or 5. I don't think we're done seeing Kenny G, but his fantasy relevance is over for sure.
Okay. All right, we're getting into the next segment. It is going to be Heartbreakers and Breathtakers. Dustin, we will start with some Heartbreakers. Give me your first Heartbreaker of the weekend. Somebody that let you down, that you are sour about on this Tuesday.
Man, I'll just hit you both mine because there's only a couple. Kareem Hunt and Chase Edmonds. They broke my heart, and it still hurts because look at the matchups coming into this week, and Cleveland, you get this narrative that the Jets are bad because why the Jets are bad, and for whatever reason, I mean obviously because Nick Chubb is a very manly man, he got all the touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt like he had the opportunities. He had a couple targets and receptions. He had 13 carries. He had 58 yards. Altogether, it's like one of those games where you're like, okay, all you need on top of this is a touchdown, and then now you have a nice fantasy week. And we didn't. All of the touchdowns went to Nick Chubb. It was one of those games where you can categorize it just as a Chubb week, where Kareem Hunt sets him up and gets him close in the 5-yard line, and then Chubb pounds it in. So
there will be weeks like that.
There will be weeks like that, and then you get to the Dolphins and Chase Edmonds, who saw everybody else having a really good time and decided he wanted no part of it. And the dude ends up with 5 rushing attempts and 30 yards. That's really it. Like that's the extent of his impact on this huge game where like 75 points were scored and just everybody, like, what happened to this guy? This guy, like, you took him with decently high draft capital.
No, not you. Not I.
No.
You say you. You're looking me in the eyeball when you say that, and that makes me feel like I took him.
I'm looking at our listeners, the people who drafted him in the 6th, 7th, 8th round.
Those of you who took him.
Those of you who expected him to be a starter, he's your running back 2 or 3 or flex play every week. Like, especially in this matchup where, granted, I was, not to victory lap, but I was a little off of him this week just because the Baltimore matchup seems like a matchup that I'm not really targeting a running back in, but I expected more than 5 carries. Apparently, Raheem Mostert is now the love child of Mike McDaniel. So
maybe he always was.
You know what, Ben? In the comments, you're darn right, man. Paris Campbell, he's dead to me. He's 100% dead to me. I'm not going to bring him up again on this show. He had his chance.
150 and a score this weekend.
You know what?
You're dead. Oh, I'm alive.
Yeah. That offense is just it's a sham.
It is.
And it really breaks my heart. Like where Matt Ryan's also a heartbreaker. We're gonna put him up there because Matt Ryan looks like an absolute shell of himself, and this is supposed to be improved. He's supposed to be this big impact guy, and doesn't look the part. He looks like he can't move. He looks like, I don't know, Big Ben. He's a detriment to the offense, and I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah,
but Chase Edmonds, man,
it's a little scary because a lot of people, including some of our favorite listeners, were saying this is nice as a Pittman owner to see how much they need him. They'll realize that they have to force him the ball. The other side of that is if you're an opposing defense and you see this team without Michael Pittman, a.k.a. just take him out of the game, not injury-wise, but just game plan to take him out of the game, this is what's left over. The writing is on the wall. Michael Pittman could be even more covered coming off of injury. I'm a little nervous for Michael Pittman, more so than I was after week 1 for sure. Kareem Hunt, I had to take a little bit of an L there because I said last week, and then I re-said on, I believe, Sunday morning, maybe Saturday night, that I would start Kareem Hunt over Alvin Kamara. This was before Kamara being scratched.
The
for
absolute
the rib
hit
injury.
job that was going on Twitter over on me.
Yes, I was very confident, and that's why I have to own it. That's the theme of week 2 for me, is when you say something and you say it multiple times, especially, and you're wrong, you have to say it. Yes, Kareem Hunt outscored Alvin Kamara. Sick joke, Travis. However, Kareem Hunt, 13 touches for 58. Had Kamara played, I would bet that Kareem Hunt did not win that bet. We will never know, but I was wrong on Kareem Hunt.
May never know. No, you're absolutely wrong. Who are your heartbreakers, though? Let's get into the people that you couldn't stand this week.
All right.
Hit me with them.
I'm going to start with Travis Etienne.
I've never heard of him.
He is hurting me. Travis is hurting Travis here. 12 touches, which, Dustin, is double his week 1 total.
Well, that's an improvement. He must have had a really good week if he had double the touches.
He had fewer fantasy points. James Robinson looks legit. He looks fully healthy, and it is killing ETN owners right now at the 4th round draft price that during draft season he was costing. Yes. Travis Etienne is really hurting both of us right now. Moving on, there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of studs that completely no-showed for you. I will give you the list of guys that I am putting in the what the hell was that list of the week.
What the hell is even that?
Starting at the top, Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I might throw up in my mouth as I read this list.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts, just to name a few. These are absolute best players in the world. First and second round picks, all of them. That
Not
went
my team.
single digits in week 2.
That's why I don't draft any of these players. That's why. I don't draft them.
This is the type of thing that frustrates your common fantasy players so much that they turn the TV off and say, "This is why I don't like fantasy football."
Yeah.
I
Justin
play,
Jefferson,
and
no.
now I'm donating money because these guys that are first and second round picks just don't show up. Now, they will all probably bounce back next week, and they all had great week 1s outside of maybe Cook and Eckler. These guys will come back. You're not going to do anything with them. Don't move them. Don't sell them cheap. But, man, they killed you week 2. If you had a few of them, if you consider yourself lucky enough, and I would, to have 2 or 3 of the guys on that list, you probably took an L. And that sucks because those guys are supposed to contribute to the W's.
Yeah, it hurts. It really does.
All right, the other side of this, as our hearts are broken, there are also guys who took our breath away, Dustin, and we want more of that. We want guys who, when they take the field, what they do with the football leaves you breathless.
Take my breath away.
Let it run.
I should just let it run for like 3 minutes.
Just
feel
feel
like I'm done with this show.
I'm here. I'm hearing it. I'm feeling it. I'm here. Look, it's a whole vibe right now. Okay.
That is
goodness.
That's sweet music right there, and that is what Nick Chubb was giving you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your overall RB1 on the season, the 2-week-old season. However, he was also RB1 on the week, so it's no fluke.
Right.
Nick
His
Chubb,
team won though, right? His team won.
Team did not win because he scored that touchdown for you, his fantasy owners.
Yeah.
You should think.
He doesn't care. If you think Nick Chubb cares about his team, no, he cares about your fantasy teams. That's
Well, Nick Chubb was it Dumb and Dumber that say "Mother of God"? Where is that from? Oh,
don't
Ace
know.
Ventura. Ace Ventura says
Oh.
that. I think as somebody's climbing out of the
of the
anus
rhino.
of the rhino, somebody says "Mother of God."
Hey
Nick
man, that
Chubb, if you're
that
playing
rhino
against
was giving birth. Okay, it was a beautiful sight if you remember correctly.
This is a wild show tonight. I like where this is going.
Yeah, let's just follow it.
Nick Chubb was sweet music. Nick Chubb was everything that when you say this is going to be Nick Chubb's best game of the year,
Right.
that's what it was play-wise, but I don't feel like that's all we will see. This could be a very common thing for Nick Chubb. He could be the absolute league-winning pick as a early second rounder. Some people got him in the mid-second round.
Yeah, that's a steal. That's a steal. What you keep mentioning the sweet music, but all I could think of is
Take my breath away.
This sucker's sticking around all year.
oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. All right, let's transition to my guy, my breath taker of the week, I suppose. Look, this is a guy that only had 7 touches, but the man had 87 yards and a touchdown. I'm talking about DeAndre I'm limited Swift. Okay?
I'm limited.
Yeah. I'm limited. He just every week, you're just going to have to close your eyes. Maybe you don't watch the game because you're going to get a lot of Jamal Williams. But DeAndre Swift, he doesn't need much. He broke off a 50-yard run, get some receiving work, scores a touchdown. They want to get him involved. That dude's electric. You see it every year. I'm noticing a trend with myself, Travis, where I'm just 1 year ahead of these guys.
Yes.
So DeAndre Swift.
The follow-up trend to that, Dustin, is you are a year early on these guys, and somebody keeps ending up with them after you when they are going off. Whether it's Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, who's it going to be next? I want you to tell me who's going to be great at the end of this year so that I can draft them by next year.
Oh, well, I mean, look, obviously it's going to be Travis Etienne.
Okay.
I'm
I'll
calling
end
it
up with
right
him
now.
next year.
James Robinson is a free agent, so he'll be gone.
Okay.
and Travis Etienne will be the guy, and I won't have him because
I refuse to believe that you were too early. Travis Etienne, second half of this year is going to be great.
no, he's
we
gonna
have
be
to
good.
manifest.
He's gonna be fine.
But yeah, DeAndre
Cross my
Swift,
fingers.
you've been on him since day one. He is exactly who you thought he was.
For sure.
And I don't want you to tell people not to watch. That's the Kyler Murray treatment of don't watch the
Oh.
game, just look at the numbers. DeAndre
That's
Swift
really
is
rough.
fun to watch.
He is fun. He is fun
really
to watch.
is.
He is fun to watch. Yeah. What about you, Travis? Who's your next guy that took your breath away? I almost played it. Who's your next guy?
I am going to go with Carson Wentz. Speak of the
Good.
devil, Ben. Carson Wentz goes
Goodness
back
gracious.
to back, in the words of the great Drake from Canada.
Is that his new name? Have you guys heard the new Drake from Canada?
Have you heard that
you
he's
heard his
from
new
Canada?
single?
Did you know that? Anyway, Carson Wentz goes back to back top
Got the
five.
drink, get me going back to back. Yeah, going back to back.
Oh,
Current
Drake
QB4.
Drake from Canada.
Drake from Canada. Carson Wentz from Canada. QB4 on the season. I did not expect this. Nobody did. I did say all offseason that Carson Wentz is
Oh my
completely disrespected. I had him around probably 15. He is balling out. He's going to force Ben Imlay to shave his legs in our bet. Maybe you and Ben can do it at the same time because you
I
still
hope
have
so.
to do that.
I'd like to do that with him. for sure.
I want to go ahead and go to my next one here, which is going to be Stephon Diggs. Takes your breath away. 3 touchdowns, 30-point
Goodness
night.
gracious.
Diggs was an absolute animal. And if you watched that game, you thought, they don't need Gabriel Davis. They don't need anyone else. Let's just do Allen to Diggs all season long. He is him. Stephon Diggs, a locked and loaded top 3 receiver. Is Stephon Diggs over Jamar Chase?
This
Too
year?
hot right now.
No. God no. Look, the Bills are just as hot of an offense and arguably are in a better position. Like, no.
Would you accept Diggs for Chase
right now?
in a redraft?
In a redraft? Yeah.
Ooh,
sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good poll. We'll put that out right after the show. Dustin, close us out here. Your final breath taker selection of the week. This one hurts me, but I understand it.
Look, I like bringing it up because they are quarterbacked by the quarterback 5 on the year so far, Travis. It is the Miami Dolphins or the Flying Fins. I like that. The Flying Fins. This was an incredible game. Okay, I want everyone to really appreciate what happened in the passing attack for this game on Miami's side. So Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both combined for 32 targets. Okay, 22 receptions and 361 receiving yards to go along with 4 touchdowns.
Just dumb.
That's just goofy numbers. And they all came from a guy who can't throw it farther than 15 yards down the field, I guess, Travis. So you bring up Carson Wentz as the QB4. You're gonna have to constantly be reminded of that QB5 right now in Tua. So it's
He's
wild.
QB5 after a 50 burger?
He's QB5
How?
after
he
a
only-
50.
Yeah, he had 16 or 17 week 1. His usual. I understand.
Okay. Okay, it's like that. Okay.
Quick question on Tua. I have a friend who plays in a $650 buy-in office league, way
Alright.
more than anything I
A
have.
little bit of a flex. All right.
And he is 0-2 after using my
Okay.
advice during the draft. These
Sounds
teams are
about right.
loaded. It's a 10 team. 10 teams can be kind of a toss-up. But week 3, he has Kyler Murray versus the Rams, or
Yep.
he can pick up Tua versus Buffalo, or Kirk Cousins versus Detroit.
Ooh.
My gut says Kirk Cousins. I'm curious what yours says.
I am probably going to go. Oh man, that is tough. I might go Tua.
Tua versus Buffalo.
Tua versus that's gonna. I'll break it down later.
Buffalo's defense is the best in the league. The
I'm gonna
Rams are
break
right
it.
there.
I'll break it down because all right. So it's probably going to be Kirk, to be honest with you. But I'm very intrigued because the way that Miami wants to play, it's very hard to defend. And
you're Tua over Cousins over Kyler.
I'm gonna have to. That's tough to break down right now. Why are you doing this to me? That's not on the show sheet. That's not on the show sheet.
Just a gut call because waivers are going tomorrow.
All right, so my gut call when you first said it, my gut call, getting all out of entry. Let me reset for a second.
Okay.
My call right now is gonna be Kirk Cousins. Okay. Because
this is
ground
what we
game
do.
gets him there.
We agree.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Kirk Cousins, but look for some material to come out this week on why Tua is not such a bad play.
All right.
So-
well, could it be that Buffalo's very banged up now?
They are banged up. They
That
are banged up.
secondary's on their third and fourth cornerback.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
that's still
fun
really good.
when,
That's still a really good secondary though.
You are in Miami though,
This
so
is true.
it's
Yeah.
not like you're gonna have tables breaking all around you and you can't hear or see anything.
The tables
so
travel. The tables travel.
This is true. This is true. All right, we're moving on to our final show sheet segment. And it
Ooh.
is going to be. Are we? We're right there already. Wow.
Are we?
Um,
All right.
Dustin, we call this feeling hot, hot, hot. I want you to give me a couple guys that you think are going to stay hot. Dustin, number one, this man stays hot going into week 3. His name is.
Number one for me is none other than Drake London. Drake from Canada. To you that are
I think every time we say Drake London on the show forever, that's a natural.
Drake London
Drake
from
from
Canada. Yeah, you know who he is. Drake from Canada. London. Anyway, Drake London, man, through 2 games, this rookie has not only just demolished the hopes of Kyle Pitts and all his fantasy managers, but he has 19 targets and 12 receptions to go along with a touchdown. He's looking like the number one option for whatever reason for Arthur Smith, because he's like, you know what? I don't care how fast he is. I don't care how good his hands are. I don't care what his skill sets are. He's a tight end. He will block. Okay.
Did you see his answer? They said, "Why are you not getting Pitts more involved?" And he said, "We want to win the game." Oh, it's like that.
Right.
That's
How do
why
you-
you don't want to
yeah.
throw to Kyle Pitts.
How do you intend on using him? We're going to use him to win, okay? Not
And
through
they
receptions.
lost.
Yeah, it's funny for a team that's bold move.
When Vegas'
Drake London-
over-under for Mariota came out before the season, it was like 2,800 yards. We were like, oh, that's really low.
Yeah.
And then
it
when
makes sense
you
now.
see that they don't want to use Kyle Pitts, now it makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
You had a great
But,
tweet on Kyle Pitts. You said
yeah?
2 for 19. And it was
Yeah,
great.
yep.
The reason why it was great was because he went back to back.
Back
Kinda
to back
like Drake
as
from- Drake
as
from
Drake
Canada
London
says.
from Canada's teammates do. They
Back
go back to back.
2 for 19 from Kyle Pitts. I'm selling him
Unbelievable.
for Tyler Higbee. anywhere I
Unbelievable. It's
can.
exactly why you drafted him in the 3rd round. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. The all the graphics up there. Why don't I cover the second guy I expect to go hot, hot, hot? And that's David Montgomery. David Montgomery, man, look, you're probably looking at the Bears offense and you want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. I know I do. But I'm on Drake now. David Montgomery has quietly
addicted.
had a pretty dynamic start to the season, and it's only going to get better, in my opinion. He's got 136 total yards last week against the Packers, and now he's facing the Texans at home, and they are the 3rd worst rushing defense so far this year through 2 weeks, the 7th most receiving yards allowed. Kind of allows for that use skill set that Monty has. I think a big game, or at least a more productive, consistent game, is coming for Monty. He's probably going to score. That team. This is going to be a big one for me, especially being a Bears fan and having Monty in a few places. I think this is going to be where we see, okay, was this production, was this game script, this usage last week just a product of the matchup, or are the Bears just an ultra low passing volume team and don't trust Justin Fields? We're going to have a lot of answers after this week in Chicago. So David Montgomery, though, I'm firing up because either way, he's going to be a big part of what they're doing on the ground.
Yeah, watching that game and watching the highlights again this morning, I kept thinking to myself, all right, David Montgomery's going to go down. There's 5 yards there. There's 6 yards there. And it would become a 26-yard run or an 18-yard run. And I'm like, he is that good.
Yeah.
He's disrespected. And every time he has a bad game, people say, David Montgomery sucks. And then he has a game like last night, and they're down by 14, and he's still popping off runs. David Montgomery is a very valuable player. It feels like year in and year out he's worth a 5th-round pick, especially when people call it the RB dead zone.
Yeah.
All right,
No-
two
no
people
joke.
staying hot for me are going to be Miles Sanders following a top 10 finish in week 1. He goes RB 18 in week 2. I didn't think that we saw the Eagles have to push themselves over the course of the end of that game. They were kind of in cruise control. Sanders looked great. I cannot be happier with that call from the offseason. I have a lot of Miles Sanders. The Eagles are for real, as everybody has seen. He is the clear
Yes,
number
sir.
1 option when healthy. Miles Sanders is a very talented runner. I think I tweeted something before the season that was like along the lines of he's the type of talent that if healthy and given the opportunity, he should be a perennial top 10 running back. Now he has the chance to do that. He has the offense. He's given the usage. If he can stay healthy, we'll see how close to that top 10 or 12 he can get. I bet he's really
Yeah.
close. Rashad Bateman, the last name that we mentioned on the show, another one in the Dustin 1 year early club.
Kills
Dustin, you had Bateman everywhere last year. I hope you still
Yep.
have him in quite a few dynasty leagues.
I do.
He has been fun to watch. I think he's going to replace Allen Robinson in my, hey, this guy's a top 15 guy on the season.
Oh.
I think
well
Allen,
then.
I think Robinson's getting bumped out. Rashad Bateman is the one that takes that spot. Robinson will have good games. Bateman will have bad games. But over the course of the season, Rashad Bateman looks like he has some serious juice. You were right all along. Volume, speed, the quarterback for it. It is all there for Rashad Bateman. You cannot be more excited for somebody to be right on than Rashad Bateman.
No, for sure.
As I plug in my charger.
Huge, huge fan of the guy because, look, he's just someone that I enjoy watching, and he's someone that, like you saw in the game against Miami, he can take any route to the house, even a slant. He is, he's explosive Keenan Allen, as others have kind of
That's
mentioned
a great comparison.
on on the internet and on other shows. He's very, very talented, and I'm very excited for his prospects. I don't know that the touchdown volume is going to be there every week, but the guy is just so dynamic. He's someone you're going to want on your teams.
With 2 already, I'd be shocked that he doesn't get 10.
Yeah, I think it's definitely within the realm of possibilities.
8 over the last 15 weeks, if healthy.
The way that
seems
way
very
that
reasonable.
offense moves the ball, I think it's hard to imagine that he's not going to have double digit touchdowns. He's just he's a big part of what this team wants to do. For sure.
We did have one graphic that got overlooked. It was made
my.
specifically for Ben. I will throw it up real quick because we are a podcast and it's not about graphics. There you go, Ben. Your
Oh.
boy Carson.
Yeah, let me throw up the one that I wanted to throw up. Too.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the best comparisons ever made.
Yeah, so he's just very good. He's just very good. He is.
All right. As
we
we are,
don't.
as
we
we're
don't have to do this
33 minutes
segment.
in, yes, Dustin gives me the we don't have to do this. However, we do have to do this because Travis wants to do this, and I'm 50% of this company and show.
Okay. Fair enough.
Dustin, we are bringing back for the first time this year and not the last. It will be a regular segment. The Travis Would You Rather question of the week. I have 2 since it is week 2 and we missed week 1.
Okay.
Starting at the top, those of you listening, Dustin has no
have
idea
no
what
idea.
I'm going to ask. And I love that. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. Dustin, would you rather have taste buds covering your hands or not taste food and drink again?
What? Why?
Would you rather not taste anything ever again, or your entire hands are covered with taste buds so that you taste everything you touch?
No, 100%. I don't. God, this is awful. Can I,
Do have to decide.
for those of you who don't know, like he always gives these would you rather's, and they're just the worst questions.
It's how we close out the show sometimes during the year, and we've got an extra 5 to 10
Sometimes.
minutes here. So
So, all right, let's just
I don't
break
just
down the
want you to-
logic
yeah,
here.
Yeah, exactly. I want the
I-
game plan of why
Yeah,
you're choosing.
so right. So if I were to have taste buds on my hands, like I touch a lot of things, you know?
But are
they're not a-
that many of them going to taste that bad?
I would
To not
I-
taste any food or drink forever? You'd rather be done with that? No way.
I guess I would wear gloves the rest of my life. Sure. I would wear flavored gloves the rest of my life.
Flavored
flavor.
gloves
I would
is the
find a
answer.
way to wear flavored gloves. Yes.
What's
I'll
the
have-
flavor of choice here? Right off the
Oh.
bat, you're thinking, I could go a week tasting that for a week.
Sure. I'll go like an apple pie, something like that. Like a
So the process of doing that is to smush apple pie into the glove and then put your hand in there, or is it like some sort of
no.
candy apple
Like-
pie spray that you're putting in there, or
I don't.
because I don't know
you
that they
just
make
find-
apple pie flavored gloves.
Have you
So you're
ever
gonna
had
have to
something
make
like that?
this.
Have you ever had like I don't know like a water that tastes like something else? Do you think they put like, oh man, this is
Yes,
a
but
strawberry flavored water? They I don't see any of the strawberries in here. Did they squish all these strawberries up and shove it in this water bottle? And now that is what I'm tasting.
But
I don't
they
even see any of the
make-
strawberries floating in here. This
They
is
don't
amazing.
make delicious flavored gloves. So you would have
No
to
one has
have
taste
those
buds on their
made.
hands. No one's going out like, yeah, these gloves are okay, but I'd really like them to taste better. Like, this isn't a thing that there's no need for this. Like, there's
All right.
not even a subset of people.
So I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, and it's a fresh apple pie sent to your house. The man
It better
wants
be in
to
some
taste
gloves.
Apple pie.
It
all
better
the
be
time.
shoved into some gloves. I'm telling you what.
All right. The second and final question of the night, the last 3 minutes of our show. Dustin, would you rather make
Oh,
a
goodness.
beeping noise from your body when you are stressed, or cry confetti when you are sad, nonstop until you are no longer sad? The question is
Oh,
not
Gosh.
when you cry tears, like when you are crying so hard. It is when you are sad, you cry confetti.
So, like, just I don't have to be crying. It's just whenever I'm
The
sad.
emotion of sadness versus the emotion of stress causing your body to give off a beep.
You know, I feel like I'm going to get to a point in my life where the doctors recommend I wear something that beeps when I'm stressed. So
Okay.
I'd probably go with, I don't know. Like, I'm a Bears fan.
Do you
Sadness
feel
is
like you
kind of what we
stress a
do.
lot?
Me, all the time. All the time. Oh, goodness. I guess I'll go, you know what? I think the confetti would be more fun because I'd feel sad, I'd see confetti, and then all of a sudden I'm happy again. So
They just stop. It feels more manageable. Like if you start to see confetti coming down your face, you better reach for those apple pie gloves. Put them
yeah,
on,
that's right.
and the confetti will stop.
I'm probably sad because I can taste everything I touch. Like that's, my goodness. Could you imagine leaving your gloves at home and then having to go to the bathroom? That's a bad day.
Oh, man.
You know, you ever had one of those where the toilet paper breaks?
Gloves.
That's an even worse day.
Oh man! All right,
What-
Ben says he would go with the beeping noise so that people stay away from him because he does not like people. Wow.
Do you like apple pie, Ben? Do you like apple pie? That's where we're at. We've gone off the rails.
All right, week 2. We have taken some breath away from all 6 listeners tonight. Week 2 is in the books. Hopefully you have at least one win because week 3 you're going to be stressing. You're going to be beeping from your body this week if you are 0-2 to start. It is nearly impossible to come back from 0-3 and get in the dance. It can be done, but
can.
you need to make moves right now this week to win week 3. If that is short-sighted, and that means moving players like Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins, maybe even a 1-week miss of Mike Evans that you drafted thinking, these guys will come back, and I'll use them down the stretch. Everything has changed for you. You are moving DeAndre Hopkins. You are moving Chris Godwin. Any other hurt player, you've got to move on from. You do not have time to wait. Dustin, give us a piece of advice for those 0-2s, those 1-1s that are feeling a little bit of pressure, and then we will roll out of here.
Sure, yeah, you mentioned a couple guys that might have been sitting on your bench that you were waiting to come back. You don't have the luxury of time. Maybe you can give yourself one more week to pull it out, but after you go 0-3, you really don't want to go 0-4. So it's time to start consolidating some assets. Maybe you mentioned DeAndre Hopkins. There are guys you can tie him onto on your roster to upgrade a position. Maybe for me, like I don't have a tight end. Maybe I go looking around for one of those. Maybe you upgrade a running back. If you can't wait for a guy like I'm trying to think like you get a guy that's off to a slow start. Maybe you have Leonard Fournette who hasn't been lighting the world on fire for you. You have Najee Harris who's kind of struggled some. You gotta turn these guys into assets that are performing now. You don't have the opportunity to wait. So
that's a good call. Sell your Tua shares if you got them.
Goodness, yeah.
Unless you're 2-0. If you're 0-2 and you have Tua, you have to move him. Get any other quarterback with a good matchup week 3.
Sure.
Move Tua for a stud. You can probably get a good running back or receiver for Tua right now.
Go pick up Carson Wentz off your off the waiver wire, something like that.
Exactly.
There are guys out there most likely. So, because you don't want to be like Travis and having to apologize again.
No, this is a very important week. We are here if you need advice. If you want to send us your lineup and say, what do you guys recommend? We'll go as far as even looking if you want to send us some teams in your league that you see as trade partners, and we can help you put together a deal.
Right.
We appreciate you guys listening. Week 2 in the books. Week 3 is coming quick. We'll be back on Thursday night post-game, I believe. And we'll get you on your way to 1 win, 2 wins, or hopefully 3 wins. One thing we always say here, losing sucks. Don't do it. Y'all go have a great Tuesday night. We'll talk to you on Thursday.